Once upon a time, in the vibrant village of Adanse, where the sun shone brightly and the skies were always clear, lived a clever spider named Ananse. Ananse was known far and wide, not just for his 8 spindly legs, but also for his sharp mind and sometimes his mischievous tricks. In Adanse, light was not just something that came from the sun. It was a special gift that filled the air, the trees, and the hearts of all who lived there. The village was known as the Village of Light because no corner of it ever saw darkness, not even at night. Instead of darkness, there were beautiful, glowing lights that shimmered softly, keeping the village bright and cheerful. But Ananse grew jealous of this light. He thought, if I could control this light, I could be the most powerful creature in all the lands. So he hatched a plan to steal the light and keep it all for himself. One evening, as the sun began to set and the magical lights started to flicker on, Ananse crept into the village square. In the center of the square stood a large ancient pot that was said to be the source of all the village's light. It was guarded by a wise old tortoise named Kwabena, who was as old as the hills and knew many secrets of the world. "Good evening, Elder Kwabena," Ananse greeted the tortoise with a sly smile. "Isn't it a lovely night for a chat?" Kwabena looked at Ananse, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "It is indeed, Ananse, but remember, the beauty of the night is not for taking, it's for sharing," he replied, sensing Ananse's intentions. Ignoring Kwabena's words, Ananse spun a beautiful silky web, finer than any had ever seen. He planned to use this web to cover the pot and sneak away with the light. As the villagers slept, Ananse worked under the moonlight, his legs moving swiftly to weave his trap. Just as Ananse was about to lay his web over the pot, he heard a soft voice. "Ananse, why do you steal from those who trust you?" It was Amma, a young girl from the village who had been watching from behind a baobab tree. Ananse, startled but quick-witted, replied, "Ah, young Amma, I'm not stealing, I'm just borrowing the light. I want to see how it looks in my own home." "But Ananse," Amma said, walking closer, her eyes full of curiosity, "the light is not something you can capture or own. It belongs to everyone, and its magic works because it is shared." Ananse paused, his mind racing. He had not considered that the light's magic might come from being shared. He was so focused on his own desires that he hadn't thought about the consequences for the village and its people. As Ananse and Amma talked, the first streaks of dawn began to color the sky. The village of Adanse started to wake, and soon other villagers joined them in the square. They saw Ananse near the pot with his web and understood his plan. Kwabena, wise as ever, decided it was a moment for a lesson, not just for Ananse, but for all. "Let us all sit and talk about the light," he suggested. "Let us share what it means to each of us." As the villagers spoke, Ananse listened. He heard stories of how the light helped crops grow, how it kept the children safe at night, and how it guided the lost back home. Feeling a growing sense of guilt for what he almost took away, Ananse realized that some things are too precious to be owned by just one person. But before he could speak, Amma took his hand, forgivingly. The discussion continued, with each villager, young and old, sharing their tales and teachings about the light. As the villagers shared their stories, Ananse's heart grew heavy with remorse. He had never intended to harm anyone, but his desire for the light blinded him to the needs and happiness of others. He looked around at the faces of the villagers, their features soft in the morning light, and he realized how much light meant to everyone in Adanse. Finally, it was Ananse's turn to speak. He cleared his throat, which was not easy for a spider, and began. "My friends, I have made a grave mistake. I thought that by taking the light for myself, I could be powerful and admired, but now I see that the true power of the light lies in its ability to bring us together, to make our lives brighter and warmer. I am truly sorry for what I tried to do." The villagers listened, surprised by Ananse's honesty. Kwabena, who had seen many things in his long life, nodded slowly. "Ananse, recognizing your mistake is the first step. What you do next will show if you have truly learned from this." Ananse thought for a moment. Then, with determination in his voice, he proposed, "Let me make amends. I will create a festival of light where we can all bring our lights together and celebrate what makes Adanse the village of light. Not just the glow from the pot, but the light within each of us. The villagers murmured in agreement and excitement. They had never had a festival of light before, and the idea of celebrating their unity and brightness appealed to everyone. Plans were made, and Ananse worked harder than he ever had. He used his skills to weave decorations from his silk, creating shimmering streamers and lanterns that caught the light beautifully. As the day of the festival approached, Ananse was a bundle of nerves. He wanted to show everyone that he had changed, that he was no longer the selfish spider who had tried to steal their light. The festival began just as the sun set, casting a golden glow over the village. One by one, each villager added their light to a great display in the center of the square, where Ananse's decorations sparkled under the night sky. The festival was more beautiful than anyone had imagined. Children danced under the twinkling lights, elders shared stories and laughter, and even Kwabena tapped his feet to the rhythm of the drumbeats. Ananse watched, his heart full of joy and relief. He had not just restored the light he had almost taken, he had helped it grow brighter. As the night went on, Amma came to sit beside Ananse. "You did well, Ananse," she said softly. "Tonight, we all see a new light in you." Ananse smiled, feeling the warmth of the village's forgiveness and the cool night air mixing together. "Thank you, Amma. From now on, I hope to be a bringer of light, not a stealer of shadows." And so, Ananse learned a valuable lesson. True brilliance comes not from possessing light, but from sharing it with others. As the stars twinkled above, the village of light glowed brighter than ever, a beacon of unity and joy in the heart of Ghana. As the festival of light drew to a close, the village of light was aglow not just with lanterns and starlight, but with the warmth of a community united. Ananse, once the trickster who sought to steal the light, had become a beacon of generosity and creativity. His transformation was a testament to the enduring power of forgiveness and the strength found in unity. As dawn approached, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, the villagers gathered for one final moment. Kwabena, with a wise smile, shared a few parting words. "Let this festival remind us that each of us holds a unique light within. Sharing our light doesn't make it dimmer, it brightens our entire world." Ananse, feeling a newfound respect and a sense of belonging, added, "I learned that greed dims the light within us, but generosity makes it shine brighter than ever. Let's carry this light forward, not just tonight, but every day." With hearts full of joy and light, the villagers of Adanse promised to make the Festival of Light an annual tradition, celebrating the light within each person and the collective light of their community. Moral of the story: true wealth and power come not from hoarding what is valuable, but from sharing it. The light of community, generosity, and unity shines the brightest and overcomes the darkest of times. If you enjoyed The Stolen Shadows, Ananse, and the Village of Light, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more enchanting stories from around the world, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with community and sharing. What does light mean to you? Let's keep the conversation glowing.